Remember when Barney was watering the tomatoes? Now it's time to harvest them. Today on the farm, we have an important task, picking ripe red tomatoes straight from the garden beds. But to do it right, we'll need a tractor, a wooden trailer, and some large sturdy crates for the tomatoes. Barney climbs into his green tractor and heads off to work. Barney walked into the greenhouse, carrying an empty crate. He looked around at the plants full of ripe, red tomatoes and said with a smile,
"All right, let's get started. Time to pick these beautiful tomatoes." Farmer Barney was just checking the fuel level in his tractor when he suddenly heard a familiar moo. What's going on?
He muttered, turning toward the road. And then he saw her. Toja the cow was slowly walking right through the middle of the farm, glancing around like she was looking for an adventure.
Toja, what are you doing?
Barney called out. Without a second thought, he jumped into the cab, started the engine, and drove after his curious companion. Toja, with what looked like a cheeky smile, picked up the pace, passing the barn and heading straight toward the carrot patch. As soon as he got close to the cow, Barney realized that without a special trailer, he wouldn't be able to get Toja back to the pen.
Well then, Toja, if you're done with your little stroll, let's take you back in comfort.
Then he turned the tractor around and drove to the barn to get the animal transport trailer. Barney was the new farmer on the farm. He had just moved in and already completed his first task, fixing a broken fence near the pasture. He was proud and ready for more.
Good job.
The next morning, Barney climbed onto his tractor and set off to check the farm, to see if another fence might need fixing. As he drove across the meadow, something caught his eye. Lying in the grass was a large white egg. It wasn't in a nest, and there were no signs of any animals nearby. Barney stepped closer and looked carefully. The egg moved slightly.
What are you doing here?
He murmured to himself. Barney didn't want to leave the egg all alone out in the open.
If it got cold, or if something stepped on it by accident.
He knew he had to act. He carefully drove back to the barn and grabbed a few big bundles of soft, dry hay. On his trailer, he made a cozy nest, warm, safe, and cushioned from every side. When everything was ready, Barney gently picked up the egg and placed it exactly in the center of the hay. Then he drove it to a warm shed, where it would be safe from the wind and cold. All day long, Barney kept checking on it. Nothing happened at first, until suddenly crack. A small line appeared, then another, and finally, the egg split open. It was a chick, but not just any chick. It was an ostrich chick, with big curious eyes and soft gray fluff. It blinked at Barney, and let out a gentle squeak. Barney was surprised but also relieved. Now it made sense, the egg must have come from the ostrich farm nearby, just across the hill. One of their birds probably laid the egg a bit too far from home, and no one noticed it was missing. The little ostrich looked healthy and full of energy. It stood up on wobbly legs, and immediately started following Barney around like he was its new best friend.
Well, I guess you found the right farm after all, little one. Let's get you back where you belong.
After a while they reached the neighboring farm. The chick ran happily toward its family, reuniting with the other ostriches. Barney watched with a warm smile, proud that he could help.